Hey everybody, it's me, the Uncensored Wall Street, here from the balcony at the New York Stock Exchange. You know, this is Trade Like Einstein, this is Money News Network, this is Apex Trader Funding, and everything else. We're breaking ceilings here. I brought you everything in food, finance, fun, and fellowship. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are at the end of August. We've covered, you know, it's kind of baffling. I'm still back in August 2024, but we are closing out yesterday. You know where we are, right? We're at the balcony of the New York Stock Exchange. 3,600 different stocks trade here on a daily basis. We trade futures, we trade commodities, we trade options, right? Trading is now probably one of the most important, exciting things that people are doing around the world. So I've brought you so many young traders who are actually breaking ceilings, who have changed their lives and have changed other people's lives. I'm not that interested in people who have actually found the trading game, who then go out and post like pictures on the back of a Bugatti with stacks of $10,000. That's not that exciting to me. I love people who have been inspired, whether it's by me or someone else, to get into the trading game, to learn, educate, motivate, and inspire themselves and then others to learn how to trade the stock market, to invest in their future, invest in stocks and not stuff. That's why today I'm bringing you one of my favorite people, Tori. So good. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
How do you like to be called? Victoria?
Tori's fine.
Tori.
Oh, yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I had the fortunality of meeting Tori in Dubai when we were there. We're not going to mention who we were there for whatever reason. But at a speaking engagement, talking about markets, motivating people who are trading futures and Forex and all that fun stuff. And I've already known about Tori because she has a massive social media platform. And I want to ask her about how she got here and what she plans on doing with this, because she's really changed a lot of people's lives. She brought a trip here to New York to see what it's like on the floor of the stock exchange. She's brought a group of her traders with her. She's got thousands and thousands of people who follow her. It's not like this was destined to be her future when she was younger, but she's here and she's blowing it up. It's crazy. And I want to know the whole story. Hi.
Hi.
Tell me about you. Give me Tori at 12.
You said it beautifully. Never would I thought I'd been here.
Cool.
That wasn't part of the plans. That wasn't my deck of cards.
Right.
I had an uncle who was a retail trader.
Right.
I had always remember peeking into this room that had like 4 monitors, and I would always hear
At
the
his house.
order filled.
Right.
Yes. And I never knew what it was. I didn't know what he did. He owned multiple businesses, very entrepreneurial, and day trading was one of them.
Okay.
It wasn't until I was 23 that I actually learned how to trade.
Wow, okay.
And
what did you do in high school?
I barely finished high school, if I'm being honest with you. Grades weren't my thing. I actually started doing hair school at the very end of high school as well.
Okay.
So I almost was
a
able to...
A little entrepreneur-y, though.
A little bit,
okay,
sure.
Gotcha.
But then we were a beauty school dropout as well.
Okay.
Then I tried college.
Beauty school dropout. Okay.
That's one of my favorites.
Great
We
song.
tried college as well and then dropped out of that too.
Okay, fine.
I tried to work for myself. I did some restaurant jobs, some retail jobs, some office admin jobs.
Right.
And it wasn't until I went to go live with my uncle for a year and he wanted to do an experiment and like teach me how to trade.
Okay.
And the entire year I'm learning about price action, chart analysis, technicals. He's purely price action. So we didn't learn any fundamentals.
Or technical.
He scraped.
But price action is technical in my opinion in a way. I mean, everybody looks at it differently. Go ahead.
Yeah. And he just scraped as much away as possible.
Okay.
He had been trading
Scraping meaning scalping, like
scraping away information.
Oh,
like
okay,
he didn't teach me about
Turning
indicators.
off the chatter. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, exactly. Turning off the chatter. So
right.
bare bones learning.
Okay.
So it was purely just a trend line strategy. Trend line bounces, trend line breakouts, just trying to follow the trend. When you're in on it, stay in for as long as you can. When it breaks, we're closing the trade and we're thinking maybe going in the opposite direction.
Right. And just so the record, right? So there's investing, long-term investing, right? And we know that when COVID came along, it changed the world. There was this democratization of the trading and investment community when like Webull and Robinhood came along. Suddenly everybody with an iPhone and $100 could suddenly trade the market. That opened the doors to 40, 50 million new people who came in. It just happened to be around the time of COVID. That's not where Tori started, but around that time when suddenly all eyes were on the market, everybody had a couple shekels in the bank, right? And all that accessibility to markets sort of opened up, right? Before that, you needed to be an accredited investor to trade the market. So that perfect storm was an amazing one, a positive one in my opinion. So storms tend to be negative. This was a great storm, but it's amazing. So Day trading, right? Some people call it scalping, not a bad word, is basically day trading the market based on fundamentals, based on technicals, based on trends, right? We'll explain what a trend is, getting in and out of trades based on price action, the way stocks move, using charts, using support and resistance. Those are all the things that go into it. And the trend, actually, in our world, is probably one of the most profitable trades because it's so exciting. But anyway, that's kind of where we're coming from. Go ahead, sorry.
So we did simulated trading for a year.
Okay, wow, for a full year.
Yeah,
okay.
for a year. I know
It's
that's
longer than we recommend.
Incredible discipline.
Yeah. That is deep discipline. It's all about discipline and consistency.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And I started with stocks though, so I didn't even know about futures yet. Started with the stock market. We would trade at open. I remember just being at my uncle's house, and we would just before breakfast we'd be talking about it.
What did he do on the open? So a trend has not even been established yet. So did he trade the open?
So yes.
Explain how. So
we'll do more of a top-down analysis. So instead of looking at what the price is doing right at open, we have already done this higher time frame analysis to see what the chart looks like or what the price looks like.
Coming into the open.
Yes, coming into the open.
So where it closed the night before? Or,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're out of all positions.
No, I understand that, but you're saying that you're analyzing what's going to happen on the open by maybe how it closed the night before, or
if it closed within the trend, if it closed the night before outside of the trend, then we may be considering it's a breakout or reversal of sorts.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're just waiting to see what the price does in the overall trend.
Okay.
So if during open it does happen to break this overall hierarchy trend, then we're going to get into it.
Okay.
And it's dependent on how far we scrape it. We're doing our trend lines on the monthly time frame, the daily time frame, then we're coming all the way into the 5, and then that's where at New York Open, if we get that break of our trend on the 5-minute time frame, then we're getting in.
Now you're talking about a break. So for us, a trend trade, right, at Wall Street Global Trading Academy with my partner David Green, for us a trend trade is a stock that's going in one direction or another, either up or down. It pulls back to the 9 or the 15 EMA, exponential moving average, and then it goes higher, right? And you stay in the trade until the trend breaks, or else you hit up against resistance.
Right, exactly.
For you, is that a same
very
for
similar.
you?
Yep.
Okay.
We've got a few different strategies within it.
You're not using moving averages at all.
So we're purely
a
just
trend
using
for
the
you
drawing
is a
tool.
stock moving in one direction or another, but it's got to be breaking out above the trend.
Or respecting. So we got a few different types of scenarios here.
So let's say there's a line going up. So it's either going up and respecting the support, okay, and or just breaking out on the upside.
Yeah.
That would be a long trade.
So we're either going with
short.
the trend, or if we get that break, then we're anticipating an opposite direction.
And you do it long and short.
Yeah,
so you're making your trade. If you don't trade long and short, you're missing 50% of the trades. Just be aware of that. Okay, go ahead. So that's the trade. And that's what your uncle taught you. So that discipline carried you forward. Okay, so you spent the year with your uncle doing simulated, and then what happened?
Then we finally decided to go. We went live.
Okay,
we did it.
Went live.
And it was when I got into futures is when I was able to start to see a lot more success. It was really tricky trading the New York Open and not being able to trade. I mean, I moved to California, so the time change was absolutely horrendous for me. It was when I got into futures that I was like, okay, I can place trades at night. I can hold for a few days if I want to. It made the process of getting in on the trends a lot easier. I could hold a trade for a day or two, but I could still do 5-minute time frame. I could do 1 hour. And it wasn't until the past 3 years that I made the transition to swing trading, which, if I'm being honest with you, and give me your feedback, if I'm holding trades right now, my average, you would think swing trading is like what, multiple weeks, 2 to 3?
Not in our world. For us, it's basically a swing trade is basically we use one of the parameters is Fibonacci. So let's say a stock goes up 3 days in a row. It's got to have the RSI. It's got to either have an RSI of under 20 or over 80 to establish that support or resistance. And then we will stay in the trade as long as we want. I mean, very often when a stock makes that kind of a move and it respects the relative strength index, you're going to see it move quickly. Right on the downside, if you're doing a reversal swing trade, I'm talking about a reversal swing trade as opposed to a swing trade. So we will basically stay. We'll stay in the trade, as long as we're comfortable. So you stay in it for multiple time frames. What are your parameters about profit taking on a swing trade?
Oh, this is fascinating, actually. So I don't have a set take profit when I get into my trade. I don't know how long this is going to trend for. That's when I get into the trade, I'm just hoping that this is the new trend, and we're going to stay in the trend for as long as it trends.
Well, you'll stay in the trend. So that's a trend trade. We just swung back from swing trading. We're in a trend trade, and you're going to stay in the trend till the trend breaks?
Till it breaks.
Okay, fine.
It could
Which
be
is
days.
great, yeah. Which is like why it makes it look, when a stock is in that trend, it's one of the great trades.
Oh, it feels
can't be
so
the most
easy.
profitable.
It feels
Because
great.
otherwise, you're in a different moving average trade, far from moving average trade. Those tend to be shorter term trades. But look, you may get out of a trend trade quickly if the trend breaks.
Yeah.
But you're staying in it until the whole consciousness about the trade changes. Let's go to a swing trade, because I was thinking of a reversal swing trade.
Okay.
What is a swing trade to you?
A swing trade to me is just holding for multiple days. So it's not day trader.
So you're in a trade. You're in a trade based on a trend, and you're staying in it overnight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what makes a swing trade to you. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And
So we've
then
got the
you'll
day
stay in
trading.
it until the trend breaks.
Yeah.
Day over day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far on average, we're holding for about like 4 to 5 days.
Wow, okay.
Which doesn't seem like your average swing trader. You're thinking a swing trader is holding for like 1, 2, 3 weeks,
Right.
maybe even a month. But so far my average has been about 4 to 5 days.
See, those are a lot longer than we are. And what I'm wondering is, very often when you're in a swing trade, right, it's made a big move, right? And so that's why I talked about a reversal swing trade. For us, a reversal swing trade is when a stock has gone up 3 days in a row,
Okay.
and it's enough of a fast and furious move that the RSI establishes itself and respects the relative strength index by being above 80 or under 20, and then it's going to reverse.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like a Fibonacci. If
This
a
is
stock
more
has
the
gone,
anticipation of the reverse and not actually seeing it yet.
not seeing it yet, correct.
Okay.
We are using the parameters of a reversal swing trade are basically all it needs to do. The components of this trade are 3 days up and above 80 or below, 3
Okay.
days up or 3 days down and above 80 or below 20 on the RSI.
Okay.
And then we're going to get in it 3 times, okay, and then we're going to let it fall. Right now, a lot of the, very often when a stock does that kind of a move, it does reverse.
Yeah.
Right, and then you're going to use a Fibonacci, which is a reversal form of theory, I guess, where it's going to retrace 50% of the move it made on the way up, on the way down.
Yeah.
Right, and then you're going to cover based on that. So that's where you're at. I mean, and you got the bug, obviously. I mean,
I got the bug.
Right. Was it money the motivator? It was the excitement, the adrenaline?
The lifestyle. My uncle was
lifestyle.
home all the time.
Okay.
He was home. And normally dads, and uncles go to work.
Right,
He was
right.
home.
Okay.
Like
And that
100%
part you
of the time.
liked?
Yes.
Okay,
That was
so you
what I
hung
wanted.
out with him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so now it's been a bunch of, how many years ago was that?
10 years. I've been
That was
trading for 10 years. Yeah,
Wow.
it was 10 years ago.
So where did you take that to? Because I know, look, I've interviewed so many different people. Recently we interviewed Andrew Garcia.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Garcia, amazing, great story. Sort of a rags to riches story. Somebody who's sort of like, a funny geek, but really had a rough beginning, who then caught the trading bug, and really worked his way up to being incredibly wealthy. And what's exciting about it too, like even Noor, right? To me,
Oh, yeah.
there are so many people. Many have been inspired by me, right? Having watched me. I mean, Noor hung out outside this building
know, that's
for
such a cool
months,
story.
waiting to meet me, and that was one of his beginnings, and I love that. But you guys, what makes you so similar, which I find so moving, is that you were inspired. Whoever inspired you, your uncle, and Noor me, and Andrew was he went into a Borders store, right? He was literally almost about to be homeless. He did not have
Yikes.
money. All his credit cards were being rejected. He had to buy diapers for his kid. He walked into a Borders store and asked the lady, give me a book on finance and making money, and it was all about trading. It was Rich Dad Poor Dad,
yeah.
and he got into trading, and that was the beginning. It's always something that makes one, that's the catalyst to get us into something that's kind of very passionate and very, it's the emotion is behind it. Even though we don't use emotion in trading,
Right.
it's an emotion that took us into
Yes,
this business,
absolutely.
right? It's that feeling you get when you're doing it, right? So I love that part of it. So that was the beginning of it. However, what I was going to say, I don't mean water. What is similar about you three is that you've taken something that you love and became really successful at. When I speak to younger people in college and whatever, and they'll ask me, like, what should I do going forward? I always say, and it's not my line, go out there and find something you love to do and then get really good at it.
Yeah.
All right? And then what you do with that is on you. But you guys have all similarly done that, found something you love that you're inspired and passionate about, gotten really good at it, and then immediately turned to share that with other people, right? Many people, as I just said, some just go, sit on the back of a Bugatti taking Instagram pictures with stacks of 10,000. They're probably full of it, right? But they don't do anything with that platform, and all three of you have done something with that platform, and to me, that's meaningful. That means I've done my job, right? I don't think I'm any different than you, except I've been around for a little bit longer, but I found something I love to do, and I love to share that, right? That's the fun part. That's the cash
fulfilling part.
That is the cash and prizes.
Yes.
It isn't really the money. I mean, money and the lifestyle, sure, we all love that. I'm never going to say I don't. But the bottom line is the feeling that you get when you've changed someone's life in a positive way. I kind of learned that from my father too, as a doctor growing up. He taught me young that it's not. The cash and prizes aren't the big deal. It's if you nobody gets out of here alive, right? If by the end of the road, if you've affected people in a positive way, then you've done your job. That's what it's all about. That's where that gratitude and cool shit comes from.
Yes, very much so.
It sounds like you did that,
yeah.
right? And so for me, describe for everybody what that's looked like for you.
It's very different because now we're in like everything's online, everything's virtual, so it's hard to see someone actually do it.
Right.
So I brought my
all
team here
physically
today.
together, and so you created a community.
Yeah.
Okay, which is amazing that our time has built us through the internet and Discord and all this other stuff. We can be very close as well as being apart in a way. So you created a community.
Yeah.
You started teaching people to trade. You realized that you had that bug to trade, but you also wanted to inspire and educate other people.
Yeah. And I just think it started with not thinking that I fit in this box, in the finance box, in the trading box, and I was like, oh, if I could just tell more of many me's, then I would do something.
It's kind of a secret almost.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is amazing. So you created this community, which is great, and so you have disciples already.
I know, it's the coolest.
Like Jesus.
We got one right here.
Right? I mean, there are people you've inspired to trade and go on to do that. And I'm sure that not only are you teaching them trading, but you're teaching them that special thing that Tori is.
My values,
right? Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about too.
Yes.
Right? The values are super key because you don't look at the end of the day. That's what we have. Right? It's what you do with the platform.
Right.
You have a huge social media platform, as do I, and it's really a matter of what we do with that.
Yeah.
If we can use that in a positive way to inspire and motivate people, that's super cool. So how is it morphed over the last number of years as the community gets bigger?
Yes, the growth has been like a hockey stick.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep up and hold myself to a higher standard.
Okay.
Sometimes, luckily I have my uncle who is also holding me to a high standard. If I post something that's maybe got some curse words on it, he's gonna give me a call and be like, you got a lot of people looking up to you. I'm like, you're right. All right, we're gonna take it down. Okay. So just making sure that I'm holding myself to a higher standard every time as we grow.
Okay. And so the last thing I want to say is you pivoted to futures. Now, so everybody knows, so listen to this. So from a day trading perspective, there's long-term investing. People use fundamental analysis to do it, right? Then there's day trading. As I told you, in the last 5 years, that whole world has changed. It's all about accessibility. Everybody got invited to the party based on Robinhood and Webull and all these free trading apps. Amazing. I love it. Some people who want to keep this place exclusive are not that into it. For me, I embraced it because it's, in my book, I'd rather be at the party with everyone, all of us being successful and enjoying this than standing alone at the top of the mountain with a bunch of money. Right. It's not that exciting to me. However, so you pivoted, so the future space, and let's do a major shout out to Apex Trader Funding. A couple of companies sort of surfaced that basically give you accessibility and funding to the future space. If you're a day trader and you don't have $25,000 to open up a trading account, then you are being bound by pattern day trading laws and rules and regulations, and you can't really trade. It's not that exciting. You got to kind of trade a $500 cash account. It's not that much fun. So Apex comes along, right? Our preferred futures platform, right? Infinite possibilities. And they offer you accessibility to the market by opening an account, giving you simulated money. You have to get qualified to show your commitment to the standard, okay? And then you can get paid to trade, right? Amazingly. So you pivoted to so basically that makes it, all the barriers to entry are down. Anybody with $16, there's a 90% sale on now. $16, $18, $28, whatever it is, can now trade the market. And you also teach people to trade. Okay, so you're teaching them your rules and regulations and your consistency and discipline, as we do ours. And that's so funny because none of us have the holy grail on technicals or anything. we use what we use because it works for us.
Yep.
And you use what you use, which is
We
amazing.
just found our edge.
The option part of it is amazing. I mean, the futures part of it, what's so exciting is it gives you accessibility and funding for anybody who wants to do this.
Yeah.
And so what you've done, so you have a relationship with Apex. I mean, that's sort of opened your world also.
Yes.
Because now, like I'm sure in the beginning, you know, it's hard to find people who had enough money to be able to bankroll themselves.
Absolutely.
Right. And now you're working with Apex, which we are too, and we think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that everyone's invited to the party.
Yeah.
And everybody can really get access and
Exactly
get
that.
funded to do this.
Yeah.
So it's more exciting than ever. So you know what? This is a great little bit of a story talking about Tori. I mean, if you're sitting there at home and wondering like you can't do this stuff, or you're kind of just struggling with your own mortality or whatever, Tori's got an amazing story, right? And look, if you don't stumble upon what catalyzes you on this incredible journey, like into the fourth dimension, then go out into the streets and walk down the street, not looking at your shoes, but looking ahead, because the signs are out there. You will find them. They may smack you in the head, but you're going to find them. And it's so exciting that you're here. Shout out to Apex because they've brought us together and they're incredible, and they've all given the opportunity to everybody to go out there and dig this. This is crazy, wild stuff. You are now invited to this party. So go check it out. Get motivated, inspired by Tori and us at Wall Street Global. Get educated by all of us. Check out Apex. It'll open the doors for you to everybody, and it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And that's all I got to say about that.